Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, everyone. Let's see if we can put this one on. We have a little bit of a technical issue in our recording studio, but it doesn't really matter. The most important thing is if you guys can hear me and if you can see me. And obviously, I'm going to do a presentation today. If you can also see my presentation. So, guys, please let me know, are you able to hear me clearly and see me clearly? Because in the end, that's the most important thing. Um, let's just go. Let's check. Mhm. Um, we've had it in the past where I will be rambling on and I can see you but hearing very little. Okay, so let us adjust that just very quickly. All right. How about now? Because apparently the sound wasn't working great. Again, apology, guys. Yes, all good. I see here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, okay, guys. Well, welcome, everybody to the bi-weekly Vertical EMA, the place where we take you guys through the latest updates and the place where we take you behind the scenes to tell you a little bit what is happening, and also the place where you can ask questions directly to the team. And today, guys, we actually have a very exciting EMA because I'm going to take you guys through what is going to be, well, let's say the future of vertical, right? So what I would say, guys, go grab a drink, prepare all your questions, because what I'm about to lay out here is the vision for the future, something that we have talked about a lot in the past as well, but also in general, how this next chapter of vertical will look like. And to strengthen that, obviously, I've made a very simple presentation just to give it a little bit more body. So I'll put this in here. Yes, I'll go like this. We want to make this big. So, guys, here is the thing, right? A quick recap for everyone who joined along the way. 2 years ago, we launched Vertical as a product that set out to, build these, AI training products on decentralized compute. Since then, we've shipped an entire product line from motion to stream to the fine-tuning suite, and all the way up until experimental products like the cloud, our own knowledge graph technology, all real products with an accumulated 80,000 registered users over all these products, real B2B clients and revenue. And some of them they worked, and some of them they didn't, and that's part of being a startup, right? And if you look at it, the motion is thriving, it's standing on its own legs today, and it keeps growing regardless of the market. And it's actually phenomenal to see that we're still here and we're still building. But about 6 months ago, we told you guys about a bigger vision, right? Where vertical isn't just some standalone products, but where we transform vertical into an ecosystem, right? Not just a product that needs to prove itself with a token attached, but more sort of a network, an ecosystem with products, with staking, where we are going to introduce also external parties with rewards for those who stay most loyal and who are the most involved in anything that happens in this vertical ecosystem. And we actually built one of our strongest products in our whole line to facilitate this. And that is actually the Vertical Gateway. The Vertical Gateway has been live for months. The Vertical Gateway was brought into life to facilitate the vertical ecosystem dynamics. And to be honest, looking at it right now with the VAPI network launch coming soon, where we utilize the gateway and the hundreds of stakers in there to give them their initial acceleration campaign, to bring them social awareness, to expose the concept to proven DeFi users, and give them a way to distribute their utility token as well to third AI stakers. It's actually a very clever way where we are able to facilitate distribution and marketing directly to the customer that Web3 protocols are actually paying tens of thousands of dollars to KOLs and marketing agencies for. And this is extremely strong, right? This is a community, a marketing, an acceleration infrastructure that we've built to facilitate our ecosystem, but which we want to build upon even further. And a beautiful thing that I want to highlight here, guys, is that most teams, they launch an innovative ID with a token, they talk about it, but in the end, they never build it, right? Or they bring it to a beta. One thing I want to make very clear is that the vertical team has always built what we set out to build. We have delivered almost every single utility that we've promised into our Mika white paper. And the gateway is the machine that actually enabled it all. And this machine, this product, the gateway is what we want to utilize to go even further, right? Because what vertical is going to become, it's not just, we came from the studio product to an ecosystem. We are going to turn this gateway dynamics into the strongest and most honest and most DEX focused incubator in the space. And it's a big vision, right? We want to help this space further by helping high quality founding teams to go into Web3 and build their businesses there, where they are accelerated through the gateway, incubated by us, and they have access to everything in our network. And we help them, properly launch. And the VAPI network it was the first, but our intention is that it's not going to be the last. So with that, with VAPI going live soon, the vertical labs doors will open soon as well. And Vert AI will be moving towards this next era. So why do we actually need this, right? And I'm going to be very real with you because you deserve the honest version, right? The token that we launched 2 years ago was designed for a different vertical, right? It was for a vertical with AI fine tuning and these products and et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, it did phenomenally well in that case, but it was a different market and a different time back then. And since now we've learned an enormous amount on how mechanics work, how liquidity depths work, how you need to design your token so that it supports a project on the long term, and actually creates perspective beyond the initial hype that most projects have. And something that we just simply can't change in our current token because it's locked in the liquidity pool, and the vision has changed. So here is but like I said, right, it's we can't restore the mechanics that we have right now. We can't redesign a pool that is currently locked with the vision that we have. The architecture that we set up in 2024, it just doesn't match what we are aiming to do in 2026. And here's the thing, we see this across the whole space. Tokens from our generation are hitting all the same walls, right? The difference is, what are you going to be doing about it? Because this is the difference between vertical and other teams, right? Other teams, they walk away. We are choosing the opposite, and we are going to be doubling down. And the context today that I'm going to be sharing with you will give you insight in how we envision this to be fixed and how we can set up the vertical ecosystem, the community with the token in such a way that when the market, like we've seen in the past few days, returns and the next bull market starts, the Vert AI community is actually the strongest community that is able to benefit from anything that we touch, and that's the whole center around it, right? So when we look at the vision, we have one token. See you later. I'm sitting at the office, guys. So just before we start, maybe you guys want to see this because this can give some impression how we are be seeing here. So before I go, I'll show you guys a little bit. The whole team working like a fucking machine. Hey guys, say hi. Sorry, I had to do this. It's full house today. The reason why I did that was to show you guys we are still here. We are still building. This team is still grinding like a crazy machine in the background. The market just has been very relentless, of course. But that has changed, right? So, guys, what are we building towards, right? We envision a vertical to be the place where quality enters Web3, mainly focused on the decentralized side of the market, right? Obviously, we have a lot of connections with centralized exchanges, but in the decentralized side of the market, there are still too much trash and noise and scammers out there, and a lot of people are, afraid to buy stuff there because they lack the confirmation of institutions or centralized exchanges, etc. So think about the trends right now, right? Thousands of launches every week, and 99% is trash, no structure, no vetting, no sort of doxing by the team, traders drowning in rugs, and generally good builders. Um, Most of the times have no idea how to launch in the decentralized side of the market. And we've been operating in this for the past 2 years. We've talked to other founders. We've talked to a lot of other stakeholders and participants in this side. We love the trenches, right? We came from the trenches. We are still in the trenches every day. But we see that our space needs the most help in this side of the market. We also believe that there's the most freedom in this side of the market. Because we are by nature a believer in permissionless, open, and decentralized structures. That's why we built in Web3 and on blockchain. We are actually a firm believer of the technology, especially with AI and the world changing, etc. So um, we aim to answer both sides of the problem, right? For builders, we plan to give high quality founding teams everything that we had learned the hard way, right? How do you launch? How do you design your launch? How do you design your tokenomics, your structure, your legal side? How do you get your community behind it? How do you do those kind of things right from day one instead of discovering the mistakes that you made only 6 to 12 months later? And this is also beneficial for you guys, our community, because every project that comes through our pipeline and plans to run a campaign through the gateway, means that you will get first exposure to every launch that we help bring to the market. Um, Here's the beautiful thing: like because we have our vertical community, we have the opportunity to directly expose these new teams to their their perfect customer, right? They are proven DeFi users. They've bought a token, they've staked that token, they are participating in a DeFi application to earn more points. This is the customer that these new protocols are looking for. So we eliminate even the KOLs from the equation, right? It's where the community is actually the beneficiary of new projects, not those who were early, etc., etc. That's the flywheel. That's what we want to expose Vert AI stakers towards. And here's the beautiful thing: we have a proof of concept, right? This isn't a theory anymore. We set this out 6 months ago, but the proof of concept is right in front of your eyes, and that is the VAPI network. The VAPI network was incubated by us, partly also founded by us, and it was structured in a way where we believe how launches should be structured, with campaigns running through the gateway. Because, like I posted on Twitter, I think it was 2 days ago, um, Vert AI stakers are getting a 2% airdrop of the VAPI token, right? It's phenomenal. Like it's they participated, they helped in accelerating, they helped in the initial exposure of the project. We weren't dependent on you know uh, whatever marketing agency around us, we leverage the community that is the proven customer for the next protocol. And that's exactly how we envision every launch in the future, and where we also see how we can continually bring value to you guys while we keep innovating and keep evolving in this space, and how we make sure that you guys benefit when we become a cornerstone in this market. And um, that's the thing, right? It's the blueprint. It's live. It's been done. The gateway is there. Vapi is going to go live soon. There's going to be an airdrop for VertiI stakers, and we are going to be opening up the doors to scale up this model and help new high quality founding teams to do the same. So um, we put everything we put everything on everything to make sure that Vapi is a banger, not just for Vapi's sake, but also because when Vapi is a banger, it's the formula works, right? And I'll tell you a little bit at the end of this EMA why that really matters for this next part. But before I do this, let's see what it actually means for vertical, right? Because we've talked about this for a long time. Vertical Labs, the new entity within the vertical ecosystem. What does it actually mean? And we plan to take everything that we described, right? Vertical Labs is going to be the entity to do so. It's going to be the incubator fully focused on bringing high quality founding teams to the decentralized side of this market. And it's very simple, right? We are going to be actively scouting out, but also we are going to open up a form just like Y Combinator or any incubator in the space every quarter. And every quarter, a team anywhere in the world is able to apply to our incubation program, right? They have to uh, give a demo video of their product. They need to show their faces as team. They need to explain their business case, why they are the best team to build the product, and why we should help and invest in them, and help them accelerate through the vertical ecosystem and get them into Web3, right? It's that's that simple, right? We only pick quality out of what comes in. If there's no quality, it is an option that we do not launch. We do not help a team launch a new project, right? It's possible. Like we are going to be very strict in this. And here's the beautiful thing: if we pick a project, right, it will be run through the gateway, and everybody who's staking there and participating in this initial acceleration campaign that they run through the gateway will earn points, loyalty weight, etc., and they will get an airdrop of this. And that is so beautiful of this system. And here is what I just said, right? What I can share about this momentum. Because we've been pitching this business plan to investors, and we are actually in advanced conversations with that. And on top of that, we are also exploring this business idea with very strong ecosystem partners, how to create the biggest possible positive impact on when we put this in play. Because there's one thing that needs to happen, guys, if we want to make this into a success, and that is, well, the part that I've been waiting to bring you for. That is, we are going to be relaunching the Vert AI token the moment that the liquidity pool comes free. And this is going to be very strategic, and let me explain you why, because it's very essential that you understand this. Right, the ecosystem that we've built, the gateway, the labs, the launch strategy and formula that we have created, it deserves a token that is architected for it, right? We envision a token that with mechanics that reflect the potential that comes out of this whole strategy that we set up, right? It needs deeper liquidity, it needs better distribution, it needs engines behind it that constantly feed back into the ecosystem in a way that rewards the stakers, right? We are going to um, move all utilities that we do not see value anymore. We are going to bring in new utilities, and the utilities that actually worked, we are going to strengthen, right? But this requires a fresh token with a fresh start. Like I said, with better liquidity, with better distribution, everything needs to set this thing up for success. And if we're going to do something big, we need to start from a new foundation. And our current token structurally is just, it's from another era, just like I said. And this isn't starting over, it's actually upgrading what we already have so that we can run this, vision at full power, and that we can bring the most value to our current holders that are here, still here, sticking around, supporting, and showing up in these EMAs. So here's the most important part, right? What does it mean for you? Mm, we plan to design this migration in such a way that the people who been most loyal, that has been the most supportive, they will benefit the most, right? So if you've been holding, if you've been staking, if you've been supportive along the way, we put loyalty above everything else, and we envision that those holders who've been right here showing up, etc., they will be structurally rewarded in a better way than the persons that have sold in the past, or done whatever, haven't done anything ever, or that come afterwards. So we already have things to measure this. We already have mechanics to weigh who's been participating, etc., etc. And I cannot say too much about this right now because obviously we are putting the icing on the cake here. We have this with lawyers as well. The one thing that is what I can promise is that the future for VertiI, um, if we execute this plan properly, is going to be very bright. And the people that stuck around, that are loyal, that are here, right, not in the past, like people that come in right now as well, right, those will be rewarded. And it's I think it's a very strong let's say incentive to work towards together, right, to amplify where we are going towards, especially in this time where the market is picking up. I think this is an echo that we can um, yeah, that we can spread around very hard to show people that yes, vertical is still here. We're still building, and we're building something bigger that is than ourselves. And the VertiI people, they are going to come along. They're going to be an integral part of this whole system. And you're going to be part of this next era. That is so important for us. All right. So looking at the road ahead, right? Because I've been rambling along here, and I assume that a lot of you might have questions. But first things first, right? We need to focus on launching Vapi. It's the proof of concept. We've helped that team tremendously from all sides, and everything that we do after that is scaling that formula even further. So I think the next EMA, I will be able to give you a full deep dive into as well what FAPI does. They are currently building in the dark, right? We are sort of preparing to come out of the dark. I think it's time to show the world what the team of VAPI has been building, because it's just phenomenal. Like also on that side, there are in direct contact with the base core team and other ecosystem partners like ARC, but also many pilots have been signed there with high profile companies that are going to process their services through the VAPI endpoint. It's phenomenal, guys. The level of quality that is went into VAPI, like I said, right, it's the proof of concept. That recipe is going to be scaled up, and you as a VertiI staker, will be the main beneficiary when we apply that again and again and again. So when Vapi goes live, right, and everything is set and it goes, the product rolls, it starts getting users, blah 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 blah. Vertical Labs opens, right? We have prepared a form. It will go live on the Vertical website soon as well. This is, the main pipeline, the cohort, the scouting sort of channel where we are going to bring in these high quality founding teams. And after that, the Vert AI token will be set up for this next era, carrying everything that we've just discussed in this EMA. along with it. So guys, for now, I think I've been rambling on for a very, very long time. I think it's very clear to say that, we've been here for the past 2 years, showing up every week, keep building, keep grinding. I think this is the mindset of a real startup slash scale up, right? We do not leave when things don't work out. We pivot, we find other opportunities, how we can bring value to our token, to our business, how we can make sure that we survive through hard times like we've seen in the past 9 months in the market, but also how we can set up, new innovative ideas in such a way that when the market returns, that vertical and verticals community and everything around it will be capturing, the most out of that momentum. So let's see if we have some questions. Um, yeah, let's take that. So let's see. Okay. Yep, tick tock, tick tock. And yeah, so Big IB, there is a Q&A session right now. So I'll put your question here. We'll put it on the screen. Let's see. Okay. Oh, the market. So Big IB in the Telegram group is asking, still don't fully understand how the Vert AI relaunch will work. Is the team launching entire new token or something? So yes and no at the same time. So it's not going to be an entirely, like, it's going to be a new token, right? In a sense that we want to improve the token contract as a whole, right? So the token contract that we currently have for the Vert AI token was created 2.5 years ago. We want to clean it up. We want to prepare it for a V4 pool. We want to attach some hooks to it as well, because we've been, terrorized by JIT bots since we are at V3. When we were in V2, we were terrorized by meth bots. So we want to make sure that we adopt the latest and the greatest technology. And then we're going to be relaunching with new tokenomics, right? That is the very important thing around it. That's why I'm saying yes and no. You still, as a Vert AI holder now, will become, you will have the right to that new token. We're going to be setting up this mint and burn process where you basically exchange your old VertiI to the new VertiI token, where we, clean up all the mess that is not useful for the future, where we have upgraded the smart contract and the liquidity pool dynamics and the technology around it, so that we remove risk from JIT bots and meth bots. We are going to be, like I said, we're talking with investors. So our aim is to even strengthen the liquidity pool as well after relaunch. We are, let's see, what do we have more? We are going to be working on a better distribution, so it's set up for better ecosystem growth moving forward. So, we're revamping, we're upgrading, we're making it better from every side that possibly is going to make a positive impact on this new token. But essentially, you'll be able to exchange the old one to the new one. So it is a new token, but not essential. It's the continuation of the old token in a better way. Mm, Thank you for that question. And then we have another question, which is fine. I can answer that here. So Big IB is also asking, how does the Genesis Goose Egg program fit into the broader launch? I'm not sure. The Genesis Goose Egg program is very specifically focused on playing a part in the VAPI network, and the protocol and the campaign that is attached to there. The VAPI Goose Egg, it has nothing to do with the gateway or with the vertical community anymore. This is their recipe to to capture the interest and the hype that they've created, to lock people in, to give them to give early adopters of Genesis Goose Egg, right, something in return when that network starts growing. So how it fits into the broader launch of the VAPI network? Well, I would say, sign up for for the campaign, become eligible to mint a Genesis Goose Egg. I would say, why not? Have the goose egg and start following along with what they're doing, because eventually you'll be able to hatch that egg and it will give you something out of that egg. So it's yeah, that's what I can say about it. Let's see. Anything here? Okay, guys, then we have quite some viewers, so that's pretty nice. We are nearly at 40 minutes of the EMA. I'm going to close this one down. Guys, exciting times are ahead, and like I said, right, we're still here, we're still grinding, and we'll be here during the whole bull market, right? We want to become a crucial part in Web3, right? We want to make the decentralized side of our markets and the trenches great again, right? We want to help value enter into this section, that you know liquidity doesn't get stolen by the wrong people, and that you can have some sort of reinsurance that if those teams got incubated with our support, that there's this quality stamp on it, right? I think that is super important, and I wished that there were more entities doing this. There's a lot of incubators, and some of them are highly respected, like our incubator, which did a very good job with us, Dex Laboratories. So shout out to Dex as well. But I think it's time we scale this up, we bring this into a more institutional like approach, because if you look at the institutional incubators, right, if you get investment, let's say 500K from an alliance or whatever, they actually expect you to go for the sex launch, right? It kind of removes the real quality projects tend not to launch in the decentralized side of the market. And we actually see a great opportunity there, because this is exactly where you can start experiment. This is exactly where you can build the community. This is exactly where the whole soul of crypto lives, in our opinion. And we want to become a cornerstone in facilitating that. Yeah, the doors will open soon. If you know a team that is in need of help, or that has a great idea that they want to bring to Web3, that deserves its own token, um, well, you can pick up the contact with us in the Telegram group or on Twitter, and our team will soon be able to pick this up. For now, I would say thank you everyone for listening and tuning in and staying up until now. I wish everybody a great day, a great evening, wherever you are in the world. Let's do it one more time just for fun. Why not? Let's say goodbye with the whole team here. Okay, guys, say goodbye. So much energy, so much energy. Okay, guys, have a great day. Cheers, cheers.